I think sculpture, and not only sculpture, art in general is kind of a medium, I guess a perfect medium for understanding the world that we are living in. And I'm aware that this might be a sort of a beautiful illusion, but at the same time I do believe it is a tool that helps people, helps us, helps me to investigate the world and also to express ourselves and find out what are our deep concerns or fears, and that's why I guess in this century art is still valuable. Regarding my relation with the studio, I noticed that since I moved in here, I started to dream of much bigger works, such as oversized black pillows or rooms filled with hay or big ink stains translated into volumes. Many of these works were produced in this studio and others in the previous one, so I think this new studio comes up with a new beginning. I'm willing to see what future works will be made or produced in this new space. On the other hand, I feel like when I'm practicing sculpture and this activity is like a ritual for me, I am somehow in connection with the materials, and I think this relationship is magical in a way, because at the same time you have the possibility as maker to create a universe and also to put some messages in the objects that you are doing, and this is also important for the people that are doing the works and also for the people that are seeing. So it's a double relationship that it's the link between the viewers and the makers. I have always been interested in themes such as identity, unity, stigmas, and the way they affect each one's personality. Lately, I was focused on the relationship between the sleep and death, and at some point I think they are very similar. I have the feeling that every day when we are going to sleep, we somehow experience or we are simulating a bit from the idea of death. And having this in my mind, I like to think that the sleep is somehow a short death. And when I try to imagine how the ideal death should look like, if there is such a thing, I imagine a room filled with black big pillows and hay, and of course with a powerful smell of fresh cut hay. So this idea generated the installation, which is named "The Night Is Yours Alone." At the same time, I am fascinated by the tradition of masking in human history, and I think it's really interesting how how every community since the beginning of humanity used the mask or introduced the mask as an identity symbol in everyday rituals or mortuary rituals. And I find this really interesting because also in a way it raises a question that it's very important for me, and it sounds something like that. Why do we need to work with our own reflection or to see our own reflection, our mask in a way, in the environment? And I think that the mask, the idea of reflection and the idea of the mask is somehow a way to dominate the environment, but on the other hand is a way, a path for trying to understand yourself and your place in the world. So I guess I am attracted to symbols as masks, as identity icons, because I also work with the mask in my series of works. The idea of multi-layered masks preoccupies me, and I guess this is also reflected in the work that I do. So I noticed that I am attracted to masks and to the masks enigmas, if we could call them like this, and those moments or those situations that are not so defined. So to be more specific, I think that the mask is somehow a space, a border or a boundary that separates two places, what's in front and what's behind. So I'm really interested in finding this small, thin space that is in between. At the same time, you can see that somehow the works are also figurative and also abstract simultaneously. So that's why I guess the volumes, the forms that I do are constructed by thousands of masks, and this way of doing the work is emphasizing the idea about the multi-layered masks. And I guess this is something that I am fascinated about. I guess I'm lucky because during the lockdown I never stopped coming to my studio, so actually I moved in the studio for a while. Some plans, some projects were postponed, others were set up for the next year. So meanwhile, I hope that we all will be safe and we will continue to work as we usually do.